Franson, we're going to wait for you to get your computer video turned on. Okay. Can I get entries of appearance from council? Mr. Brossard, I need you to change your background. If somebody might be able to help him do that really quickly. Mr. Potts.
Your Honor, for the people, Stephen Potts, POTTS, Attorney Registration Number 50479, Chief Deputy District Attorney.
And Your Honor, Ryan Cornegie, also for the people, registration number 53695.
And then I have Ms. Franson. And then I'm sorry, Mr. Weiner.
Judge Robert Weiner appearing on behalf of Mr. Gould.
Okay, you may be seated. One of the reasons we're doing the WebEx webinar in this manner today is to be able to give as much access to anybody who wants to be able to participate virtually and give media access in this format. So for that reason, I have counsel with their clients on WebEx. And Ms. Franson, you might move yours over just slightly. Mr. Weiner, you could also adjust your view so that we can see your client a little bit better. We are on today for a first appearance in both cases, and I've called both together because they're co-defendants essentially. Would you waive any further advisement, Ms. Franson and Mr. Weiner?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay, and please be seated because remain seated. Again, it's the view for the public. So I don't need you to stand.
Good habit.
I understand that. I'm letting you know you don't need to do it today. Further advisement has been waived. We do have a couple outstanding matters. I'll start with Mr. Buin. There's a motion that's been filed regarding access to the car. Mr. Potts, have you had a chance to review that motion?
I have, Your Honor. I also
any-
had a chance to do some inquiry with regards to the vehicle as well.
Okay,
The vehicle is being stored at Allied Towing. It is accessible. We confirmed that on Thursday. So we have no objection to the order. We would just request an opportunity, if there is a viewing done of the vehicle, that we'll be allowed to have somebody from our office, possibly an investigator, be present at the time, obviously not participating, but be present and for the viewing of the vehicle.
okay. Ms. Franson, is that acceptable to the defense? Yes. Okay. And Mr. Weiner, did you want to be a part of that as well?
Judge, at this point, I would say yes, so I would like to be involved in that.
Okay. The court will grant that motion with the caveats as indicated by the people regarding just their ability to have their investigator present, and then allow Mr. Weiner and his client to be able to be a part of that process as well. Mr. Weiner, you also have filed a motion to modify bond to allow your client to travel over the holidays, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. This was a family scheduled trip. It's just down to Lake Havasu. He would be driving with his family and to visit his father for the Christmas holidays. And as the court knows, these indictments came down the day before Thanksgiving. So, he's obviously not a flight risk. And we'd ask the court to permit him to travel with his family to Lake Havasu. He would be driving again, just to make that clear.
Okay. Mr. Potts.
Your Honor, we did have the opportunity to convey with the family with regards to this request. They are objecting to the request. They equally would like to spend the holidays with their family, and they would like to spend the holidays with Christian, and they are not able to do so because of the conduct of the defendants. Accordingly, they are objecting to any travel outside of the jurisdiction. That being said, the people are not lodging any specific legal objection to that travel, Your Honor. We would request that if the travel be granted, consent of surety be provided, waiver of extradition be provided, and surrender of passport as well, Your Honor.
The court agrees that there's not a legal justification for denying that request. It's a reasonable request. We do need a waiver of extradition and a consent of surety, although was it a cash bond? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was cash bond.
It was a cash bond, I thought. So a waiver of extradition needs to be filed. At this point, we just need to set this, I think, for another court date unless Mr. Potts, there's anything else from the people.
I just also wanted to clarify that the Glass family indicated that they will not be able to remain in this country during the holidays because of the conduct of the defendants. So that is also part of their objection, but nothing else, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything from you, Ms. Franson? Mr. Weiner?
Judge, we had filed a motion as well for preservation of specific items. And I know we did not, there was a issue with attaching the order, but we advised Mr. Potts last week. I just want everybody to be on notice that we are requesting that preservation. And then I would assume that that would be disseminated to all parties with respect to any notes, text messages, emails between law enforcement and the district attorney's office.
I don't see that motion having been filed. The only one I saw was your motion regarding bond. Having said that, I think I'll accept it as an oral motion. Go ahead and file it if it's been filed. And the people are to comply with their obligations pursuant to Rule 16.
I think it just didn't get accepted. It got filed on.
Yeah, it got
Okay.
rejected. I got notified. We were in the room.
You tried to file it and it
Got
didn't
that
get
nasty
accepted.
rejection note. So.
Okay. All right. So the court will grant that motion and the people are to, again, comply with their obligations pursuant to Rule 16. I'm looking at January 23rd as a next court date. How does that look on everybody's calendars?
I'm actually supposed to be on trial in Summit County on a sex assault case starting on that day. Would it be possible to do the date maybe the week before? You're going to be on trial in Kent, I think, that week.
Well, the week before is a holiday. There is a possibility that you might know better than I would, Mr. Potts, as to whether, for example, the 17th might be available. But I currently am set for a 2-week jury trial, but I've been told that that case might settle.
I don't know a whole lot about that right now.
Okay.
So.
The 30th?
Judge, I am going to be away on the 30th. But I've got co-counsel, we can appear. If I might inquire what specific setting, I'm assuming, so everybody's aware, we're obviously going to be filing a PC request.
Yes.
And request for a colloquy as well. But is this for the PC determination? Because we don't have any grand jury transcripts or anything yet. So I was just kind of curious because I could have co-counsel appear on the 30th if that's the best day.
So first of all, I think that the grand jury transcripts are due, 35 days after the indictment. I thought that was December 28th. So I'm expecting that motion to be filed by the people. You should have that by then the last week in December. I think we need to continue to move this case along and have another setting. Regardless of whether we do anything substantive or not. It might be for that PC determination at that time, and I would expect you all to be filing whatever motion you would want after you get the transcripts. So if you can file any motion, by the 16th, and if we set it on the 30th, I think that would give us time to address all of those issues. Does that work for you, Mr. Weiner?
If I can check with my co-counsel to make sure
Of
he's
course.
available on that date, because I don't want to accept a date.
Just to clarify, it's January 30th.
Correct. Did I say December? Because I do that a lot. Okay.
Co-counsel's available, so we can accept that date.
Let's do it 11 o'clock. I think that gives plenty of time for everybody to get organized in the morning. And we're experimenting today with this platform, so we'll also debrief and decide whether this was workable for us or not. Anything further from the people?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Franzen?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Court's in recess at this time.